We are live. Whoa! Welcome everyone to a political recap stream here on the Moisky Live channel. I've completely screwed that up because I was going to go and say something else. Joining me as always for this is my lovely and stunning, brave co-host, Trups LP. Say hello, Trups LP.
Hello, Trups LP. Press 1 in the chat for stunning and brave.
Please do. Before I ask any questions, hello to Erin, who was here early. Thank you for pointing out the time it got changed. Acridian, I wouldn't talk about the church. That church, if you think Ahmed video got bad, you had bad comments, it's okay. I'm not going to say a word on it. Spider Jaranimo, welcome for being here. Welcome. Swan, Memes of Destruction, Cyrene, SJ and J Soaps, RW Bimby, Lulu Bell, Leslie White, Karma, Lord Krauts, Centurion Fox, Otaku Gamer Judas, hope you're all well, and Veghead Cat. And Discner, he says 5. How is Trups LP? And hello Linda Bradley.
Trups LP is doing alright.
How was your week?
Another work week down.
Was it busy at least?
No, but you know what's actually great? Got my mail today, and I have a check with Donald Trump's name on it.
Oh?
Yes, I got my Trump bucks.
I don't. Before I ask you about that, hello Orion and number 1. I'll ask about that. I think you and I might be in the same boat on this then, because I applied for I got the self-employment support scheme, self-employment income support scheme eligibility, and I got paid that this week as well. So British Trump bucks.
Indeed.
Yeah, so I used it to buy air conditioning. Actual air conditioning and not.
That's good. That's a good thing to.
But there's a problem. There's a problem. I can't fit it in my room because where the piping goes, my bed is in front of the window, and there's literally nowhere I can put my bed. I can't put it in my other sister's room because apparently, if she hears any sound at all, she can't function. Meaning it has to go in one other room, but that person keeps their door shut all the time. Sad face. But I will be sorting that out when it arrives, which I'm looking forward to. Hello, Littlelies, by the way. Hope you're well. So what is Trump bucks, by the way?
So, do you remember? We had discussed it a couple times. Hey, wait, hold on. I just noticed something before I get into that.
Go on.
YouTube. I'm literally in this channel. Why did you unsub me from it? I just resubbed to Moisky Live.
I've noted all week my sub count has been fluctuating at just over 73,300, but it's been fluctuating between the 0 and 25, going up to 25, and then the very next day going back down to 0. All week. I've watched it and I'm like, oh wait, have I plateaued? Am I about to start hitting the downward spiral already? Oh. Maybe I have to buy a play button off Etsy.
and it's also not like I don't watch this content every week when the live stream comes. I'm in here reading the chat. So it's not like I'm not, taking part in this channel. So
to be fair,
fuck YouTube.
Another thing, Trups does actually watch the stuff because he gives me constructive criticism on things, which I find very handy, which is what you had last week, I believe.
Yes.
Which is very good. And I won't be. I'm certainly now never going to touch that subject again. Jeez. Just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to Trups as well. We're on a upward slope to try and get into 1,000 by the end of the year.
You know what's actually kind of funny about that? I put out a video a week ago. It was the UK night thing. It was a guy walking around in LARPing armor, essentially.
Yeah. Oh yes, actually. No, I forgot. Carry on.
What?
I was going to feature it in my exhibition of stupid people, and I forgot to. I wanted to talk about it, and I was like, and then somebody reminded me, and I was like, I could ask Trups and put that in my video instead, and give him some much-needed attention, because you are, let's face it, a bit much more of an authority on LARPing than I am. I love LARPing.
Oh yeah.
I haven't LARPed in so long. It's not the same thing. Hello, Melissa, by the way, and hello, Alex. Enjoy your shower, because you are a slut. And W.R. Corsten. But yeah, I was going to feature. I might actually. You know what I'll do? I might do it next week instead. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, it's fine. But you know what was really interesting is that if you look at my videos, because I do, you probably don't, but I do. Like a bunch of my videos have like a steady stream of like 100, 115 down to like 50 or so views, and those are the people who like consistently come back to my channel all the time. Yeah. It's usually about 20%. Except for that video. That video had 638 views, and I was like, why? Why this video?
Nice.
What about this video randomly got, traction? And I realized it was because people love watching police do stupid shit.
They do. I got a lot of comments today about Derbyshire police because they wanted to get someone who'd thanked someone by kissing on the cheek and do him as a sex offender.
Oh my god, I saw that and I was so pissed.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Originally someone retweeted it and I was like, yeah, I'm taking that.
Thank you, Veghead. I appreciate it.
Yes. I actually changed your name to that, Tups. Hello, Hello, Calamity. Hope you're well. So, other things that have happened. I've been instructed now. I've got this in my hand. The face masks. Oh, Soph C0066 just subscribed to you. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you.
I was given this face mask, a proper one, to go to my nephew's tomorrow because the neighbours have started grassing on my sister of having people turn up. Veghead just subscribed too. Hey, Skog, hope you're well, mate. And so because I don't wear these.
Skog is also an authority on LARP.
I decided to wear it as a bandana instead, and it just about hides my massive forehead. That's about it, really.
Well, are you suffering from the same thing I am currently, which is the quarantine beard?
I've always suffered with quarantine beard. You can ask Jo; she hates me for it.
I'll have to show you the sheer volume that this has now.
Oh no, I'm not like you though. I can't grow a beard anywhere near as magnificent. Because I don't look after mine at all. I do brush it and use beard balm to keep it tidy.
I have some as well.
I keep it tidy.
I don't keep it tidy while I'm in quarantine.
Understandable, but I don't like trim it at all or anything. I can't be bothered. I consider it my. I like it.
But I looked at it and I was like, I could braid this into like the Viking style and add like the beads onto it.
If you
it's
don't,
that long.
If you don't, you're gay.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have to exert my man.
There's your put down. But anyway, yes, you got your Trump bucks because we're going to go back to that quickly. And Trump bucks is the bailout essentially for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the stimulus package that was given to Americans to be able to pay bills during this quarantine where most of the economy is shut down. If you're one of the lucky ones and you are able to continue working remotely, then...
Do you get less than others?
Don't think so.
That's cool then, because then that's a little extra money your way. That's good then, isn't it? What are you going to do with it?
I don't know, actually. I may just bank it because I'm still trying to buy a house.
That's fair. I used mine to pay some bills. I bought my sister a birthday present. I got her a barbecue that she wanted. She wanted one that's shut with the lid on, so I got her one that looks like Big Daddy from BioShock.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. And I bought myself a PRS, which arrived today, and I've been
Is that a guitar?
It is, yes. I've been going nuts with that all day. Although it's been quite difficult because the nieces are here.
Well, they like music too.
They do. I'll give them that. At least they want to be engaged. But yes.
It's a ukulele.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about that after the stream. You're going to love the story I've got for you.
No.
No, I've got it's not what they did. Not what they did. I've got a story for you.
Oh, okay.
Just remind me at the end. Anyway.
Yeah, I will.
We have a number of subjects to talk about. We're not going to touch the Mississippi one and the church-related ones yet. I thought perhaps we could talk about Hong Kong. How's that?
You know, I'm down. There was a very disturbing video. Is that what you're getting at?
There is a video, but there's also the national security law that China has proposed with their what do you call that kind of government that isn't really a government at all? It's a rubber parliament. Rubber stamp
We
Parliament.
just call that missing America.
Yeah, I'm just going to put the appropriate meme on the screen that I usually feature here. Sounds like communist propaganda, but okay. Because
that's a good one.
because Xi Ping, whatever his name is, Xi Jinping or something, Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has introduced this policy, this law, and the intention of it is, it will criminalize treason, secession, sedition, and subversion in Hong Kong, with it also allowing Chinese national security services to work in the city to fulfill duties to safeguard national security in accordance with the law. Understandably, many journalists, hi Morris Minor, hope you're well, many journalists over there have said, well, free speech has just died in Hong Kong. We now have to change because of you. What do you think about what's going on in China and Hong Kong? Because this is a big distraction. No one's reporting on this. I mean, the only one that I saw, legitimately, the only one that really covered it clearly was CNN. UK news aren't covering
Interesting.
it.
That's very bizarre, actually.
Yeah, UK news are not covering it much.
A long time, they were not. A lot of mainstream media was not covering what was going on in Hong Kong or China with any, let's just say, oh God, what's the word? Credibility, any accuracy? Yeah, that. They were skirting the issues for a lot of points, right?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to hear that CNN has actually decided to report on basically communist rule over a sovereign state.
So interesting to note with all of this, it's not the first time really that this has happened. It's the proposed law is known as Article 23, which then hang on. So before last year's political unrest, the reputation of Hong Kong's government being not held to account for their nonsense had been going on as far back as 2003, when they then proposed anti-sedition laws, which were known as Article 23. It's been 17 years, and Beijing has decided, nah, fam, we're taking you now. The whole one country, two systems is going to die, but no one's noticing this, and Hong Kong, the protests are still ongoing, and there's still millions of people involved. But if it passes, which it will in China, of course it will, they will just walk over Hong Kong. The identity of Hong Kong dies with it. The thing I find fascinating is, isn't Hong Kong capitalist and China communist? Like, Hong Kong's identity will go. 100%.
Hong Kong essentially was... It was a British entity for a while, so I would imagine it would be, I would guess, akin to Taiwan or the Philippines, I suppose.
Well, the rumor is that China's going to pass this by using a constitutional backdoor in Hong Kong's legislature, which means they can then introduce anti-sedition laws on the city's behalf. Which I think is, this is bad. They reckon this will be passed by the end of this month, and then pushed through Hong Kong soon after. I think this will just... No, you're going to be changing the media, which is the journalism, and what can and cannot be shown. You're going to be changing the education to match China. Taiwan is a real China. Taiwan is a different country. And it will also change international business because it will be owned by the government. Hong Kong's always been quite different, and I kind of wish that we hadn't given it up. To be fair, I never really thought we should have to begin with. I think it's just really bad. I think it's a bad idea. What do you think?
Well, the fact that they have anti-sedition laws, and those are Hong Kong representatives who are making that law, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I saw a video a little while back, that was actually of some people who were opposed to some, let's just call them anti-freedom legislations, and they were protesting about it in Hong Kong's legislature.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably carried, I'm not exaggerating, carried out of that room, and then the vote proceeded, ruling in favor of the anti-freedom law.
Right.
Had you seen this video as well?
No, I had not. I've been reading articles instead. I wish I'd seen that
Hmm.
video instead. I think it would have saved me a lot of time.
Well, it's very dark, and I don't know necessarily if it was the same legislation that we're talking about now. That being said, though, there is a concerning amount of we'll call it what it is. What seems to be subterfuge, or sabotage by the Chinese government in Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not be surprised if some of the individuals who are making their voices known
Mm-hmm.
are not necessarily Hong Kong citizens, but in fact plants by Chinese government. Now I know that sounds very conspiracy theorist, and I put on my tinfoil hat.
I know what you mean.
But
China's history is against
but
them on
let's
that
be
one.
honest, right? The Chinese history does kind of lean that this would be something that they would do.
Interesting to note, that's actually something CNN raised in their very article. The city's constitution, Hong Kong's constitution, is enshrined in basic law. And there is a guarantee between China and the United Kingdom that when Hong Kong was handed, that happened when China was given Hong Kong. Hong Kong is also party to international treaties that guarantees civil liberties. The new law that they intend to introduce, though, bypasses all of that by introducing all these ill-defined acts that gives authority leeway to go after cities' opposition. But then China, and this is where it references it. They point out in China, national security laws were used to target human rights activists, lawyers, journalists, pro-democracy campaigners. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Liu Xiaobo, who died in 2017,
No idea.
was convicted of inciting subversion of state power. Okay. But also the Democratic Party legislator for Hong Kong, Helena Wong, said that even the local government will not be able to regulate what the agents do in Hong Kong, rendering them, I believe, lame duck is appropriate if you have no power over the officials operating in your city when you yourself are the top dog within that area. What is the point of you being there in the first place? Once China puts their foot somewhere where they don't belong, hi Keith, hope you're well. Once they do that, China then just takes over. And that goes against all the treaties, all the laws that Hong Kong already obeyed, because they found a way to introduce laws that didn't need to exist because they have to control it, because they don't like the fact that Hong Kong is, air quotes, giving them a bad name. No, they're just pointing out you're absolute hypocrites, and their government is a joke. I'm sure that there'll be more clarification with these laws, but since they've already used the words, or what were the words again? Subversion, secession, sedition, and treason, that can be quite vague. What is treason?
Oh, absolutely, especially when you're
I mean,
I guess that depends on who you're asking. If you're
Yes.
asking somebody who is Chinese who believes in the one China rule, then anything short of saying that Hong Kong is China is treason.
Exactly. Hello, Scott Lloyd. Hope you're well. I tend to agree. It's absolute nonsense to me. I found this to be fascinating because this has been going on for a while. I was going to do a video on this, but then I forgot. Because I've done a video on this in the past with a process earlier in the year, and I just thought this is going to keep going. It's not going to stop until China puts their foot down and starts hurting people. And you can't do that. Because they'll try and hide the evidence, but sadly, we've all seen it. Which is
I think they already have. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they probably have, actually. Yes, you're quite right. I hope they haven't.
I think they already. I think they have already caused irreparable damage, but I'm not sure because I honestly don't know what they've been up to. Because obviously no one knows, obviously. Um,
Yes.
However, if you I just I can't believe anything coming from China
Hmm.
when it comes to, oh, we're doing things for the good of the world. Shut the fuck
Yes.
up. No, you're not.
No, then...
You guys are liars. You have continuously propagandized against the United States, against the UK, against Australia for that matter right now.
Should I now be saying China lied and people died? Should I be doing that?
I mean, it's true,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is. Hello, Scott Lloyd, Christina, Peter, and Morris Minor. I'm sorry if I haven't said hello already. I tend to agree.
You know, there's only so much that you can allow to go on without making some kind of comment or pointing out that, look, this is fucked. Everything that's going on right now, at least in terms of China's dealings, you can almost always blame them.
Hopefully as more comes out. I hope the protests don't stop. I hope Hong Kong gets freedom, to be honest, from China. I'd like that. I can't believe the United Kingdom gave them over. I still don't quite understand why we did it. Hello, Mr. Anonymous, by the way. Have you heard of the London Mega Mosque application up for review? Somebody linked that to me on my Discord, called Littleese, I believe. I will look into it. I have heard about it, but I don't know anything about it yet. And hello, OP Shark Shoes. I'm trying to archive a link, right, by the way, for the article we're talking about. Hello, Cindy. But it's taking forever to archive the article. I want to link in the chat. It's actually getting quite embarrassing now. I could have just tiny URL'd it instead. Never mind. Should we move on to a different subject?
Surely.
Okay. People might be a bit curious here. On Thursday, I usually do a PMQ video. I didn't bother because it was just boring. It was so boring I couldn't focus on it. In fact, the only interesting thing that happened was when Matt Hancock, the health secretary, started giving Keir Starmer lip, and the speaker shouted at Matt Hancock, offering him the opportunity to leave instead. That's how boring PMQs was this week. Yeah. Oh,
but damn it, people want you to talk about it.
Right? But I honestly couldn't. Actually, what happened was it was too hot, and I just ran out of energy. I didn't have any. I'm really sorry to those who might have wanted it, but I had nothing in the tank. Okay, so is there anything before we get to the two big ones? Is there anything else going on in America right now you'd like to talk about?
Well, this isn't an article that I linked to you, but I was watching some news today, and did you hear that Joe Biden said that if you're not if you don't plan on voting for him, you ain't black?
No, I did not. But I would love.
Yeah,
I'd
okay.
like to put that in my exhibition of stupid people. Can I have a link?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
boy. It was costing us money. That's why we kept Hong Kong.
Get that one.
Clearly, we made a mistake.
By the way, he did apologize.
Nah. You can't apologize. It doesn't work like that.
But
I did
see. He did say that.
So I know somebody else said something quite interesting about him. Where is it? Is it this one? Yes, because it's my next one. Actually, yeah, I've got something for him as well. Someone said that she would vote for Biden even if he boiled babies and ate them. I've archived.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's been a couple.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
A couple of weird ones.
Exhibition of stupid people, you're going in it. You are definitely worth that. It's just so funny. I can't.
There you go.
Oh, good. Right. Should we talk about it for a bit, if you'd like?
Yeah,
Or-
sure. And then we'll jump in, and then we'll jump into the contentious one, I guess.
He actually said it.
Yeah,
Oh.
he did.
Oh. Hang on, no. It says he did not explicitly apologise. He didn't. He said, I should not have been so cavalier. And that I've ever taken the African American community for granted.
Oh yes, yes. I'm just saying what the other headlines when I searched "Biden, ya ain't black" on Google came up with.
That's tasty. Very tasty.
Oh yeah. But okay. So he was on this radio show. I believe it was the Breakfast Club called. Yeah. It was called the Breakfast Club, and near the tail end. Let's see. What did he legitimately say? Ain't black. He said, well, I'll tell you what, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Which, okay, let's be kind for a moment.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. By the way, thank you,
Joe
Cindy, for
Biden
subscribing
has-
to Trups. That's very kind of you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. So Joe Biden has historically done very, very well with the black community.
It's because he's a crip, isn't it?
Perhaps he's, well, I don't know. I'm sure there are some people who are on Big E's side and some people who are on Tupac's side. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm trying to do my best to like just bullshit for him.
You can't
But
bullshit this.
look, I can't. Yes, he has historically good numbers with the African American community, but oh my God, this is so bad.
It's so fucking stupid. Why would he even say it in
it
the first
is.
place?
I don't know. He's fucking old and senile.
Oh, mate. There's a geriatric, and then there's just like he's just gone off. He's gone off the plantation at that point. Well, actually, no. Maybe he stayed on there to, educate.
Well, that's the thing,
black
right?
people.
So when I was watching Tim Pool talk
Idiots.
about it, it was him basically saying, "Oh God, I've lost my train of thought."
Yes, it happened to you for once.
Yes, thank you. I blame you, Meg.
Fuck you.
God damn it.
Worth it. Amazing.
No, I completely lost it. Just train of thought crashed.
It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, absolutely not. It was if Biden ever goes on an interview, it's either incoherent garbage, where he just rattles on and doesn't say actual words in a statement,
Right.
or it's very, very clear and it's offensive.
Okay.
In this case, it's the second one.
Yes.
He's very clear and offensive.
It is. It's very funny. I'm sorry. I'm finding I'm struggling to not laugh at it because it's so stupid. Just so dumb. And I have to. I'm sorry, but people are gonna. I know someone might next Thursday want to just poke fun at it. Hell, if you want, record a segment on it for me for my video. Do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Yeah, do that.
This came out today, so
Yeah. It's good. We're good then. It's a segment for you. We're good. See you later, Mr. Anonymous. Thank you for being here. There are going to be people who will say the following. Yes, Biden may have said this, but look at what Trump said. That's not the point.
What did Trump say? Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Isn't he the best?
I don't.
That's what he said. Right?
It doesn't matter to me what Trump says in the context of what someone else said, because I want to focus on what they said. I don't. Anything else is absolutely redundant. Okay. Hello, Prospero. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Would you like to know? Okay, so do you think you want to talk about the church bit first, or perhaps what Trump did first?
Let's talk about the church. Let me just get this out of the
Okay,
way.
I'm just going to archive the Biden thing, so I've got it saved. Yes, by all means, set the scene, because I don't know much about this. This is all, but from this moment on, it's Trupp's talking. It's the Trupp show, everyone.
Yeah, so, okay. There was a church that was challenging coronavirus restrictions. It had filed several lawsuits against the state. And basically, what it had said was that the rules and the enforcements done in Mississippi against that church were unconstitutional and, by all metrics, based on what the church said and what the state laws were saying, both seem to be in agreement about the actions taken originally. But regardless of that, the church had still been, challenging the coronavirus restrictions and had retained a lawyer. Okay, so apparently on Wednesday, this First Pentecostal church was burned to the ground, either by arson or by accident. I am willing to bet arson because even if it is a hoax, it was still arson. Um, and investigators found graffiti in the church parking lot that reads, quote, "Bet you stay home now, you hypocrites," spelled with a K.
Oh, Jesus. Education
Yes,
system right
hippo,
there.
Krits. Well, that seems almost like a intentional dig.
Right.
Almost like they're intentionally they're intentionally trying to do that
Mm-hmm.
and make it spelled wrong. Because, come on. Really? I don't believe you. I don't believe you that it's like putting an S backwards because you're trying to be a fucking memer.
Oh, at number 2, gotcha.
Yeah. But the be all end all is that this church was in fact burned to the ground. Now, investigators and the lawyers have said that this is absolutely terrible. The they were trying to open services. They were just trying to do the things that they believed in, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the governor responded in kind. This is not who we are. This isn't correct. But they seem pretty convinced, the church and the attorney for the church, that it is in fact directed towards the church in a negative way because of their stance. There's two methods of thought here. There is the one method, which is this in fact happened, and a disgruntled neighbor, community member set fire to the church because they believe that they were breaking quarantine restrictions, all that jazz,
Mm-hmm.
and they in fact did do this. Okay. The second angle to this is that it was done intentionally by a person who wanted to get media attention. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That is a possibility, though I am hesitant to go that route.
Why is that?
Okay, so the only reason I'm hesitant to go through the hoax route is, as far as I know, I don't know of churches burning down sacred, hallowed grounds in the name of, politics. So, it would strike me as resoundingly anti-faith to burn down a house of the Lord.
So you would say it is not a hoax?
Only because I think that if people truly went there and believed in it, then I don't think it. Well, okay, I don't think it was done by a member of the parish. Let's put it that way.
So who do you think it could be?
Well, okay, so it's either done by individuals who were involved in the politics of it and wanted to make say, oh, well, the church is a large, bastion against this, and we could make a national issue of this uh, if something were terrible were to happen,
Mm-hmm.
or um, it was in fact somebody who burned down the church intentionally because they didn't like what was going on.
Okay. So, what has happened since this has all gone down?
This started being reported this morning. I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm intrigued.
I'm just telling you what happened. Church is burned down.
Yeah.
This is what was found, and we're gonna keep an eye on this because shit's fucked regardless.
I expect a video by Trups on this one because it is absolutely a hot topic right now. And definitely worth addressing by Trups, who is far more insightful and informative on this than I ever could be on it.
Well, the fact that I do live in a southern red state may help with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the story as of now.
Okay.
We will keep up with that.
So I guess this handily leads on to a decision by Donald Trump. And that would be that he has deemed houses of worship to be essential amid the pandemic. That is the quote from the title of the article I'm citing, which I will link in the chat soon, I promise. What's this about then, Trups?
So, Donald Trump made a opinion, and he made the statement that he, on a national level, believes that houses of worship should be a essential quote-unquote business that should be allowed to open and operate, as are the liquor stores and pot dispensaries across the country. I don't know if he can actually do that, is the problem, because that seems more like a governor decision.
That was the first thing I thought when I saw the article you linked me. My first thought was, hang on, I know you're the chief and all that, you're top dog, but can you actually be involved in that kind of decision? I thought there was a separation.
There is, but I'm not sure whether or not he, by basically saying that these are things that he believes, will influence certain governors to follow that rule. Because a lot of the guidelines, per se, that we are following during this pandemic are actually directly because of the White House Coronavirus Task Force.
Right.
So it's not to say that he doesn't have a reasonable sway in this. It's just, how much. But I don't think he's necessarily wrong here. I think he has a very good point. The fact that you're able to open up large business chains, liquor stores.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. On the liquor store point, if you told people they were not allowed to buy liquor, you would legitimately have a protest immediately. Right?
Yeah.
If you had people say, legally you may not buy and purchase alcoholic beverages, no. You would have people legitimately in the streets setting fires. And everyone would be fucking hand in hand singing Kumbaya as they lit fires because, god damn it, they want their booze. Booze is probably one of the biggest things that this country relies on, because in good times or in bad times, booze is the answer.
Booze is
right?
handy, I'll admit. I think for the first 4 weeks of this lockdown, every day after I'd finished doing my videos, I would sit outside in the garden for an hour with a bottle of cider. Now I've stopped doing that because I realised I was putting on weight and I don't want to. So I instead replaced it by going for another walk, which is fine by me, to be honest. I can now leave the house more than once, so it's great. But it is quite booze takes the edge off things.
It does help.
Yeah.
And yeah, but the fact that something that is codified in our First Amendment, meaning our freedom to religion, the fact that that's not allowed for us to go and take part in is it's a hard one for governors especially to make that decision.
Right.
Because I mean, look, in those kind of community settings, you guys are in close proximity. So, I mean, there is a severe risk of infection in those places. They're not wrong when they bring it up. However, they also have a fundamental right to take part in it.
It's a tricky one when there are people who would want more power to be able to revoke the rights to, and this is where then the argument comes about for protecting the individual, but then at the same time because you've got your rights, that person is well within their right to choose whether they take the government's advice. It shouldn't be enforced because of your rights, if that makes sense. But and the argument of giving people their religious freedom, I can understand why people would want religion at this time, especially because they're very worried. They will turn to their respective deities and places of worship and seek guidance from that, while the others are looking for a cure.
Look, man. The problem that governors and even presidents, prime ministers, all these people have, the issues that they all suffer from is that no one knows the right answer. They just have to make a decision. Yeah. It may be the wrong decision, but they need to know that. Can't just...
I think your governors have a harder decision than the UK, especially because you've got that constitution. It is so difficult to make any decision to, in your mind, protect the people, when in your mind, if you believe to protect the people, you have to enforce lockdowns. You are then taking away their rights, which is so in your country. It is in our country, but at the same time, we don't have rights. It's so universally unpopular. They can't do it. So they know it's not career suicide, but it's going to be one you're going to struggle to climb back from. And while you want to pretend that you're caring about the people, some will be thinking about the next election cycle. It's a very difficult edge to walk on, if that makes sense at all. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, jeez, I was curious what you thought about governors having a very difficult decision.
Say again for me?
Do you think? I think governors have a difficult decision because to use anything, to implement anything that would take away not revoke.
Take away their inalienable rights because
it's career. Some will say they care about the people, and I get it. I personally care about the people, but I don't know anything that actually works, so I don't know how to help the people. I know that things like social distancing and lockdown has worked in this country, but it's not a cure for the problem. It really isn't. But then others will say that, but actually they care about the election cycle. So they're only going to be interested in making sure they get re-elected, and let's face it, enforcing anything that takes away from their, what do you call it again? Inalienable. Thank you. Rights. Would be career suicide to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
So
without a doubt.
So I think governors have a harder decision to make in this.
Well, yes, but they also have agendas, which can't be ignored.
That's what I just meant. Why I mentioned the career aspect as well, because that's what the agenda plays handily.
Well, no, I'm talking about what they personally believe is the greater good, right?
True.
So
that's a fair point.
If you think, for example, let's just take a progressive leftist, for example,
Mm-hmm.
would probably want keep would probably want to keep the lockdown going because it is statistically improbable
Right.
that a president in a recession would continue into a second term. I don't think it has ever happened where a president in an economic recession has ever won re-election. So it is possible that the people in charge of certain areas have decided that they want to, well, keep it going for longer because it may make Trump look bad.
That's one hell of a gamble.
Oh, it is, but it's not too far-fetched, unfortunately.
I'm not saying it's far-fetched.
Some of these
It's just
people
a
are
gamble.
that insane.
It's just it's an unnecessary gamble. You should focus on local, not global. You should always think about your house first before you try and do something reckless. And obviously, there's an air of arrogance attached to all of that. We did say his businesses plummeted before this. Did they? I don't know much about what's going on in your country.
Did they?
I don't know. I don't know much about this.
Businesses plummeted before when?
His businesses.
Before the...
His.
No. I'm not talking about Trump's
No,
businesses.
I think that's what... I missed something in the chat, I think. So I do apologize. I think I've missed something. Forgive me, chat. I'm not keeping up.
I was going to say, Trump's businesses, out of all the last couple of politicians in power, and the only reason I say that is because, well, I saw this very interesting post which actually had quite a bit of truth behind it.
Right.
People don't go into politics to make money, quote unquote. That's a statement that people have said in the past.
Right.
Except, well, Obama
Oh, thank you,
multiplied his
Orion.
net worth by...
Can I just
thank you, Orion.
continue? The greater good is a phrase used by tyrants to convince people that they should give up their rights willingly. Once you have given the government anything, the government never gives it back. Now, that is actually a very fair point. Thank you very much for that incredibly generous $20 donation.
Yes, thank you very much.
What do you think about that, by the way?
Oh, I think that he's very true. He's very right in the sense that when you give up, what is it? You give an inch and they'll take a mile?
Yes.
It's very much that when it comes to, those kinds of individuals, especially in politics.
Mm-hmm.
They will do that, and they will be unapologetic about it. So that's the kind of political climate we are in the sense that that's actually what's happening. The fact that we started this whole lockdown thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we started this lockdown thing saying we're going to flatten the curve.
Yeah.
And it has turned into we need to find a cure is so painful because look, we get flu shots every year. We haven't cured the flu. What makes you think that we are going to somehow cure this novel coronavirus, which we have never, ever encountered before, because, I don't know, our people are working on it? Like, no. It's literally impossible to think that this was remotely, like, a good idea. Like, LA, New Jersey, both of those places have said, we're going to try and stay locked down until they find a cure. What the fuck? Even Fauci said that they may not find a cure until early next year.
Yeah, I saw that, and I thought, no, we can't afford that. In this country, we can't afford that. October at latest, based on the furlough scheme, but ideally, I mean, the guy who gives me work has even said places are starting to open up this next couple of weeks, so I could get some of my work back within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm okay with that.
Good.
Because seriously, people need to start doing things again. It's getting... And things are going down. Things are improving, so we should, of course, be cautious. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't have just stopped in the first place. We really shouldn't have. It was just an absolute... It was so stupid, because the long-term economic damage is going to take decades to, air quotes, fix. Because it won't be fixed.
Oh, literally, you won't... If it goes on for too long, you won't fix it.
No.
I mean, the U.S. has injected trillions of dollars. Don't get me wrong, we have the ability to fix it. But it's already taken a toll on our food markets, on certain commodities that are still being sold.
Yeah.
Our money is going to start inflating. The worth of the dollar is going to go by the wayside if we don't do something real soon.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and something has to. I've heard people's health is one. You have to think of both things. Sadly, you have to think about the damn. Tell your mate to Google Gates ID 2020. Calamity.
What? ID gate?
Calamity in the chat. Tell your mate to Google Gates ID 2020.
Gates ID. Oh, the chip.
I'm not too familiar with this, so please help me.
So there was this thought that Bill Gates would have this chip that we could all basically say whether the person was immunized or not, or
God.
has the ability. Yeah, it's basically like another way for you to be tracked and kept under wraps by your government.
Please tell me.
And that's a major libertarian coming through on that one.
I'd heard about that.
Yeah, so I've heard about that that theory.
Oh dear. Well, yeah, Morris Mind, I tend to agree. I'm kind of concerned about what comes next. It's going to be a difficult one. I don't know how they're going to handle this in the long term. It worries me because I know that maybe the economy shouldn't be considered so important, but at the same time,
Oh no,
sadly,
it has to be.
Sadly, in this country, it really does have to be with us leaving the EU. We have to leave with a strong enough economy to be able to do things, and otherwise we may as well just stay in the EU, because there's no way we can hold ourselves up. And I don't like that, but sadly we are limited in our choices.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I won't allow it. I tend to agree. The chip idea felt tinfoil hatty at first to me. Anything like that happened in this country, it wouldn't happen. What do you think?
Honestly, if we get to that point where we are chipping our own citizens, we have a lot more problems than just a lockdown. We have a government that is attempting to invoke actual police state bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And that simply cannot happen. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if certain places do try and do it.
Yeah.
Because, look, I mean, that's if it will give people a sense of security. There's a oh god, I don't remember what the exact quote is, but the sentiment is people who give up liberty for security deserve neither.
Can I ask you to read the message from Juggernaut in the chat? It was directed to me, but I believe it's for you.
Unpopular opinion. The only reason that one.
Yes.
Okay, unpopular opinion. The only reason the two coasts in the U.S. are trying to stay locked down to continue hurting the economy that Trump built up, it was politicized since U.S. Case Zero. I don't know what U.S. Case Zero is, but I do firmly believe that New York and California, well, at least L.A., are very much in cahoots with the whole thing. I mean, we've already proven that with the talks about what was it? The fucking the pacts
Mm-hmm.
between the governors. Remember that?
Yes, I'd heard about that.
Yeah, I mean, we have talked about it on here,
We
and that's
have, yes.
still a real thing. And I mean, look, that's I legitimately think that they are intentionally sabotaging the economy because of Trump.
Oh, and to address Cindy's comments, I am so sorry that where you are, because I know where you are, I know where you live. I'm sorry that you have to be essentially tracked like that. That is absolutely disgusting. I did see the earlier comment about the people with the drinks and the takeout, and the more police presence because of these idiots. Very sorry you're having to put up with that.
Now, I also do want to point out that not everybody in New York is on board with this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like Mayor Bill de Blasio says, no, you're not allowed to congregate on the beaches. You're not allowed to do X, Y, or Z. But the people said, hey, go fuck yourself. And there have been stories this week of people partying in the streets, drinking without masks, not social distancing because, damn it, they want to go outside.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in terms of what you are actually encouraging, is you are encouraging basic anarchy because, I mean, look, the reason why they're even holding people, I'm gonna say it, hostage, is because one, either A, they don't know how to deal with it in their city,
Sorry.
or
Yep.
they just that they're intentionally doing it. It's one of the two. It's either ignorance or malice, and it can't be anything else besides it. Because why the fuck is New York doing so poorly, but places like Miami, for instance, are doing great?
Actually, that is a really good question. Why is that happening? And Orion, welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for becoming a member. That's very
It's
generous.
because DeSantis has decided. I'm sorry. That's the Florida governor. Has
That's nice,
decided
actually.
to be a little bit more open with his policies.
And they're yielding positive results.
They are,
That's fantastic news.
as was South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
So, there may be truth to the sense that perhaps people need to get outside.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that's I think we're steadily approaching the point where people aren't gonna take this shit anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not encouraging it, but I do believe that people are going to start, basically say fuck off.
To Duck Dog, I am very sorry that my microphone picked that up. I didn't
What
realise
happened?
I dropped something.
Oh,
And where is it? Coming from New Jerseyan who's been furloughed for 2 months and hasn't seen unemployment yet. It's political, not health at this point. I want to work so I can get a Moisky Live plushie for my sister. That's very kind of you. And I hope you're able to
well,
get back to us soon.
I used to live in New Jersey, so I kind of feel that.
Yeah, you did. You have. Yeah, I remember you telling me. Yes. I think we're done here, by the way. Unless you can think of anything else you'd like to discuss.
No, I don't have much else.
I just want to say one thing. I love that I'm on the live streaming dashboard. It says concurrent views 24, 10 likes. Goes to YouTube video, 79 views, 55 votes. Up, that is, and 1 down for the contrarian. Thank you to those who've turned up, by the way. Is there anything you'd like to shill before we finish?
Not off the top of my head, but for those who did sub to the channel, I very much do appreciate it, and I hope to have a video out soon.
Don't guarantee it or anything. He is still in prison for Keister stashing. I have nothing planned. I will be working on the finishing that damn Nick Ocado video. I have got to get it done this weekend. I need it done and out by Friday anyway, so I can focus on my next one. And I'll tell you who that is after the stream if you're interested, Trups. As we're done here, thank you very much for joining. Thank you for the donations. Thank you to those who subscribed to Trups and to Orion, Agapi, for becoming a Moistonian member of middle class. So say goodnight, Trups.
Good night, Trups.
Good night, Trups.